second.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Shepherd alumni, friends and family of the community, everybody's jumping in on these, watching them live, watching the recording. This is the fourth time we've come together, the fourth trip of an amazing travel program that has been put together for Shepherd University, and I am honored to be able to present to all of you again. So for those of you who I have not met, seen on one of these calls, or that you have not yet seen me on Facebook, my name is Ian Kiner. I have the very fortunate position of getting to work for the tour operator and travel company that partners with Shepherd University to deliver these incredible trips and alumni travel opportunities for you. Today is the, like I said, it's the fourth of four. So it's kind of an exciting day because we've run through all of the amazing destinations. We've talked about Greece for young alumni. We've talked about Alaska and the Canadian Rockies, two separate trips, one trip up to Alaska, one trip to the Canadian Rockies. If you haven't seen either of those two webinars, check them out. Reach out to Katie or Jessica, to the Alumni Association there, and make sure you secure your spot on those trips. We still have time on certainly on the 2023 trips, and if you get in soon, you may still be able to take advantage of one of the 2022 opportunities. But we're not here to talk about everything today. We're here to talk about a very specific trip and destination, and I'm super excited about it. Well, I love every trip we've been able to talk about, and all the destinations around the world you might be able to travel to. Like all of us, there's certain places that just resonate with all of us, that we have a connection to, whether it be through history, through family, through friends, a love of the food or the culture, whatever it might be. There's certain places that just resonate differently, that just hit differently. And today, the destination we're going to talk about certainly is in that category for me. So I'm going to share my screen, share a presentation, just so everybody knows this is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to take us through a presentation. I've asked some friends to join me via video, so you'll get to hear from some folks and voices other than just me today. And we'll kind of rattle through everything, see where we are with any questions towards the end or any other information I can add in. And then hopefully the final step will be all of you super excited, picking up the phone or getting on email, reaching out and getting yourself confirmed to book on this amazing trip. So let me share my screen, and as I'm doing that, I'll ask Katie and Jessica if there's anything they wanted to add. Otherwise, everybody just hold tight, and I will be with us with a presentation momentarily.
But hopefully we'll have a new stuff. We're working on something that will make it much easier for us.
All right, so with any luck, everybody can now see my screen. I can no longer see the Zoom interaction, so I'll rely on Katie and Jessica for any comments there. But before I really kick off, I'll just ask if somebody can just let me know, can everybody see the title slide okay?
For groups, please turn off that option because we don't want them to have, because it also.
Yep, we're good.
Sweet, awesome. Then we shall jump right into it. So as I mentioned, this is the fourth of four presentations. So previously we talked about Greece. We had talked about Alaska. We had talked about the Canadian Rockies. And now we're going to talk about the Emerald Island herself, Ireland. And before I launch into just details of the trip, sharing some stories and just getting really excited about the destination, I figured I'd ask some of the local experts that we work with, some of the local guides, some of the purveyors of restaurants and different sites, the folks that you will be interacting with on this trip. I thought I'd ask them to just step in for a second and share a little bit about their country themselves.
So we don't want them to make any adjustments that may not, if, you know, really,
I know when I go travelling and people ask, where are you from? And I tell them I'm from Ireland. Oh, you're Irish.
What they expect is the Guinness, the fun. What they also find is the deep, rich culture.
They've heard about the conflict history, and what surprises them is that we are so friendly and so warm and so welcoming.
I think Ireland is a very unique place. The richness of our culture, the beauty of our landscape and the warmth of our people. The people that will immediately make you feel like family. And when you travel to Ireland with Trafalgar, north, east, west and south, it's these people that will open up their doors and show you the real Ireland.
We technically nearly know everybody, you know, and there's a warmth and everybody knows what way to get on with each other.
As guests of Trafalgar, you'll get to come join us here at Brockgammon, and we'll take you for a behind-the-scenes tour of the farm.
And we have a lot of workshops and things that people can get involved with and get their hands dirty, feed the animals.
And then we'll stop off into the cafe here for a delicious lunch.
It's just our natural instinct to be great hosts with some great food, a couple of pints of stout, or whatever takes your fancy.
We love to welcome guests here to Glenkeen from all over the world, where they experience unique Irish authentic farm experiences, and of course Glenkeen and my own ancestors is steeped in history.
I just love being with people, chatting to people, having them at ease, and hope that they enjoy their experience with us here in Glenkeen.
One of the reasons why I'm proud to be from this part of the world is our scenery. It's always breathtaking.
It's that wow factor. They really appreciate this special place. I am deeply rooted and deeply connected to the land, to the place, to the history, to the culture.
The sense of community in Ireland is very strong. You'll find it in all the local towns and villages. The welcome is here. There's always a céad míle fáilte in Ireland for you.
We came through an awful lot, and we're now out the other side, and strength and resilience of the people that I grew up with. And also I think that my city is the centre of the universe.
I'm proud of Ireland and the Irish and my culture because of its influence into every other country in the world. Because for all the people who moved away from here and their ancestors, they come back here to find where it all started from.
I love this country. It is without a doubt one of the best places in the world.
I think when visitors leave Ireland after a stay here, they have one thing in their minds, and that's, when am I going to get a chance to come back to the place?
All right, so if that doesn't have you already super excited, I don't know what will, but we're still going to continue to raise that excitement level. So of course the destination that we're talking about is Ireland, and the program available that the Alumni Association has selected and put together really gives you a huge overview of all the best that Ireland and Northern Ireland has to offer. Here's a couple of really, really cool things for the Shamrocks and Leprechauns trip. First, even though you're going to one island, you will visit two countries, because we will start in the Republic of Ireland and then journey up to Northern Ireland, which is, of course, part of the UK. Mentioning that, I will pause ever so briefly. We're going to date this presentation up a little bit, but it is certainly a big deal as far as world events go. Rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth, who had her passing today, 96 years. May we all have such an amazing, amazing life. So you'll get to visit not only the Republic of Ireland, but like I mentioned, up into Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK. The other really, really cool and special thing about this itinerary is whether you're consciously leaving all of your friends and family at home to get away yourself and wanting to look for a solo excursion with your Roaming Rams community, this trip's for you. If you're traveling with your favorite travel buddy or your significant other or your partner, fantastic. You're going to have an absolute brilliant time. The other element that makes this trip a little bit unique is that there are pieces of the itinerary that are specifically designed for multi-generation families. So if you want to travel with your kids to go experience this destination all together as a family, there's going to be elements that are going to really pique the interest of adults, young adults, even our kids. Are all going to be absolutely enamored and have an absolutely breathtaking experience. So whatever your disposition is, however you want to travel, however you want to go, course, Ireland has something for everyone, and we've worked really hard to integrate all of that into this itinerary. So your family, yourself, everybody will have a great time. So let's start talking a little bit about the itinerary, and I mentioned it very briefly. You're going to fly into and out of Dublin, easy airlift into the major international airport there. We'll have a night there. Then we're going to head up to Northern Ireland. So again, there's our second country, one island, two countries on the trip. So you'll get to experience both Irish Ireland as well as then UK English Northern Ireland. I'm not going to get too much into all of that because the history that one results today in there being two countries represented on one tiny island is absolutely fascinating, and it's part of the culture and the history and who Ireland and Northern Ireland and who the Irish and Northern Irish are today. You'll continue around to Londonderry, which is an absolutely amazing place for the history of the Troubles and the times in Northern Ireland. I mean, it's been recent within our lifetimes that serious conflict was occurring in Ireland, and especially Northern Ireland. And Londonderry, as well as Belfast, played a huge part in that. And Londonderry, I've made a mistake myself, should refer to it as Londonderry Dairy, because Londonderry, it is only Londonderry to those of English descent, and it is Derry to all of those of Irish descent. So still a place that holds a very unique, is a very unique cultural point for very recent Irish history. Down the Atlantic Way into Galway, continuing on down into Killarney and the absolutely epic Ring of Kerry. The Blarney Stone, get a chance to give that smooch, hang upside down. They haven't dropped anybody yet. Just hang upside down, give that smooch to the Blarney Stone, and you are blessed with the gift of gab. Now, before I move on, I will share part of why Ireland is so important to me and why I have such a connection to it. There is a little bit of ancestry in my family, not a ton, but a little bit of ancestry. But I have some really, really good friends, a number of really, really good friends who are Irish. So I've had the great fortune, even as a young adult myself, to go and visit them, to spend time with them, to not just visit Ireland, but visit with their family and friends and have dinners around their kitchen table, share conversations and a bit of whiskey in front of their fires. And when I will date myself again, when my wife and I, my beautiful wife and I, we were traveling there for for two of their weddings, for a wedding between two of our friends that had met where we all lived together in the U.S. They were having their ceremony, and where they were from, and a place we spent a lot of time with, really, really, my wife and I. So my wife and I, when we were visiting, she's pregnant. We were struggling to come up with the perfect name for our son. The day of his delivery in the I guess maternity room, while my wife is doing her best, God bless her, on struggling through labor pains. We still didn't have a name for a son who was going to be born imminently, and the name of the place that we had spent so much time and that had moved us so much, a place called Cavan, in County Cavan in the northern part of the Republic of Ireland. That name, that word, the name Cavan just sung out to us. We decided that was going to go on our list, but we were going to wait until he was born. He was born, and we had three names that we liked, and there was just no question that he was Cavan. And so for his entire life, for as long as he's been alive, just having that really significant personal part that ties me and ties my family forever to Ireland is really, really special. So what's included getting back into itinerary? I won't touch on this kind of stuff. This is practical stuff, but I know it's important. You want to know. Certainly we have all of the transportation that's included. Pardon me. You'll have one of our expert world-class travel directors and driver with you the entire time, so you don't need to worry about getting from point A to point B. Our travel directors are there to make sure you have the best time possible. That's making sure we're on time, we're getting to the things that are included in the itinerary, as well as being able to point you to things that you might have a special affinity to. Are you a literature lover and you want to visit one of the libraries or one of the homes of one of the famous writers and Irish writers? Are you into art or food, or is there a particular drink or just cultural element that you want? Do you just want to find a place to hike on a certain day? Our travel directors are there to make sure you find and experience exactly what you want to experience on your itinerary. Along the way, we have all of our local experts. I hope you all enjoyed that video. I guarantee you, you're going to see at least one of them on this itinerary, if not more. They're absolutely fantastic, some of the best in the world, and they love nothing more than sharing their home, the food, the culture, the history, the stories, the dance, the music, everything that makes Ireland an absolutely amazing destination. Of course, we include a great deal of meals. You have breakfast every day. You need to start off properly on that. Please enjoy the brown bread. If you're on a no-carb diet, forget it while you're there. You need to eat the carbs. You need to eat all the brown bread. Slather it with butter, and enjoy all of the taste and wonderful sensations you will have as part of that Irish dining experience, starting very simply with that Irish brown bread. Shoot, first thing in the morning. It's a great way to start the day. A cup of tea, you can't go wrong. We do include some other special meals throughout the itinerary, but we don't include every lunch and every dinner specifically because that's not up to us to dictate. If you want to try a pub or in Belfast, Belfast is starting to become world-renowned for its cuisine and for its food scene. Absolutely incredible. You're not tied to doing what we say you're going to do. Certainly, we include some very, very cool bring us together, wrap us up, cool little dining experiences, but otherwise in those afternoons and evenings, have a little bit of free time and choose to dine how you would like to. I'll touch on this super briefly. I don't want to get into a list, but there's so much to see and do in Ireland. And we're going to, trust me, we're going to dive into a lot of that just to start getting excited for all these places. But there is no shortage of things to see and do. The reality is you could just go to one of the destinations that we're traveling to. You could just go to Dublin. You could just go to Belfast. You could just go to Galway or to the south of Ireland, and you could spend a week completely enamored with everything you're going to see, with everything you can do. It is an absolutely amazing country that just packs in so much, from ancient history to modern history to conflict, all the way to all of you Game of Thrones fans traveling in Northern Ireland and certainly around Belfast. You'll get to see a lot of those filming locations, not only the locations themselves, but the scenery and the places that brought Winterfell and Game of Thrones to life, with so much of it being filmed in Northern Ireland. For you Harry Potter fans, certainly make our way to the Cliffs of Moher on the Atlantic coast, where another great filming location and the hiding place for a Horcrux. We'll see if you can look down and see the cave where a Horcrux had been hidden. So lots of amazing things to see and do for everybody. And let's talk a little bit about more of those. The Cliffs of Moher is the picture that you see on your screen now from a more modern historical perspective, certainly Harry Potter. But this has been a just mesmerizing destination since travelers first visited. What's very great about the Cliffs of Moher, as well as another destination that you'll visit as we transit through Northern Ireland, and that is the Giant's Causeway. These are two locations that really, they defy description. The Cliffs of Moher, the Giant's Causeway, they need to be seen to believe. They need to be experienced firsthand. And for a long time, this is all, and you can still see on the picture, if you look in the distance, there's still sheep and cows. This is a lot of pasture land. And these places were, being able to enjoy these spaces were at risk between just over tourism, no real maintenance for paths, erosion up on the cliff faces, destruction of the columns at the Giant's Causeway. And in both cases, heritage foundations were created in order to look after and preserve these amazing places and these amazing views for generations to come. Part of the good you do on this trip, part of making travel matter, simply by showing up and visiting these destinations with your other Shepherd alumni, with your other roaming rants, you are helping preserve these places. You're helping the foundations do their work. You're helping make travel matter so they can continue to preserve and look after and care for these absolute majestic locations of the Giant's Causeway and the Cliffs of Moher. And those are just two icons. We could go on forever. I already mentioned a couple, the Blarney Stone in Blarney Castle, the Ring of Kerry, one of the most epic drives in the entire world. Absolutely, we could go on, but we'll leave it there because we don't have time to cover every single exciting thing in Ireland. We'll dive into culture. I'm sure all of you have heard of the famous glass and crystal that comes out of Ireland, and certainly opportunities to see that, to bring some home with you. But what I really want to talk about are a couple of other things, a couple of recent things that really let you dive into culture. In Belfast, during some of your free time, I highly recommend everybody takes a visit to the Epic Museum, Dublin. This is an absolutely incredible museum that's built in the Docklands area of Dublin. It actually sits inside old brick vaults where grains and goods that were being put on and taken off of ships were stored as part of the overall ocean transit and ocean trade that passed in, through, and out of Dublin. Beyond it being in just an absolutely incredible location, the Epic Museum is all about Irish migration. And it tells the story of how the Irish have played such an important role in the culture that has traveled well beyond Irish borders and influenced so many cultures abroad, near and far. There's a running joke that it doesn't matter where you go, anywhere in the world, you will find an Irish pub. That is due to Irish migration. On a more serious front, the medical discoveries, the scientific discoveries, the cultural sharing, and the things that are just interdispersed and just are so part of cultures in so many different places and countries can all trace their roots back to those original Irish migrants that fled their country for new opportunities and certainly made the most of them. Whether you have Irish heritage or not, it is an absolutely must-do spot there in Dublin. If you have Irish heritage, certainly take it as a moment to be proud, to discover more of your story, your history. If you don't have an ounce of Irish heritage, you certainly know somebody who does, and just enjoy that exploration of the positive impact that so many have had as they've traveled across the world. Also, as we leave Belfast and we head up north, as we leave Dublin and head up north to Belfast, a very new museum that has opened up there is Titanic Belfast. Now, I am a huge fan of industrial architecture. I'm a huge fan of that entire time period and everything that went into the creation of the Titanic. The Titanic Belfast is an incredible museum built actually in the shipyards that built her. The museum sits right where Titanic and her sister ships were constructed. You can stand right where those ships came to life, where they were built, and then where they were floated out into the river and ultimately set sail to sea. You learn the history at Titanic Belfast. You learn the history of those shipyards, why they played such significant importance in the development and growth of Belfast. You learn about all the other industries in and around Belfast and what gave it rise to a great city. You can see the giant cranes still sitting off in the distance in those shipyards, Samson and Goliath, and they are absolutely enormous. And then, of course, you learn the tragic history. You all know, or I believe you should all know, how the story of Titanic ends, but hearing all the stories that led to the creation, the building of Titanic, and moreover, how the history and story of Titanic just, it permeates, it is completely part and parcel to the history and story of Belfast, and it's absolutely a fascinating place. On top of that, it's an absolutely incredible building, a place that you will be doing all the selfies you possibly can around its incredible facade before you certainly take in the rest of Belfast. Connect with the locals. I think one of the coolest experiences that we do on this trip is along the Atlantic Way. We stop at Finney's Sheep Farm. So there's this really cool about Finney's Sheep Farm. This is a working sheep farm. This is an attractive woolen mill, and you'll get to meet the family, the Feeneys, that have been sheep farmers for generations. You'll hear their story. You'll get to see some of the sheep, of course. You'll get to learn their trade. You'll get to have a proper cup of Irish tea with the family. You have this time with them. You can ask them anything you want. And depending on the time, depending on how things have gone, there may be a puppy or two roaming around. Certainly the ranch dogs. You get plenty of cuddle time, while you most importantly just get to sit one-on-one or group on, family with these Feenies and just hear all about their stories. I highly recommend you come prepared to ask them lots of questions, because that Irish gift of gab is certainly real, and they will have no shortage of incredible tales to tell about their family, about their time on their farm, and I'm sure a few Irish folk tales along the way. For everybody, I have one huge recommendation. You will have free time in the evenings. Even if you don't have free time, there'll be a couple of opportunities to step into a pub. Whether you're traveling on your own, traveling with a friend or a significant other, you're traveling with your entire family, definitely step into a pub. Buy a local a drink. Could be an alcoholic drink, could be a soda, could be a glass of fizzy water. Whatever you do, make that effort to reach out to that local and just sit and chat with them for a while. I had mentioned many years ago the origin and the inspiration for my son's name. I've had the great pleasure of recently being able to travel back with them to Ireland, specifically on very much an identical trip to this one, and taking them, even though they're not of drinking age, but taking them into the pubs for a meal, for the music, for the ambiance, to meet those locals, sit at tables next to them, and just chat and talk is one of the great memories that they have from that trip, and an absolute great experience for all of us. So tour differently, I've touched on a lot of these things, so I'm not going to read this off to you, but it really is, and all of this is in the itinerary that you'll have access to, so you can say all this, but really getting out on this trip isn't just about seeing the destination. It is having those connections. It is having those moments to hear a story, to share a story, to create new stories. It's connecting, it's diving into the culture. It's the difference between being a tourist and a traveler, and coming away your heart filled, your mind filled with everything that Ireland has to offer, as well as the Make Travel Matter experiences, just simply by visiting some of these destinations, simply by having some of these conversations. You're preserving not only the locations and the natural beauty of Ireland, but the culture and the history as well for generations to come. And I will say, I will make one suggestion. You'll have an opportunity along the way. It's an optional, whether you want to do it or not. It's entirely up to you to participate in a Celtic night where you can go and listen to Irish song and dance, or listen to Irish song and music. You can watch the dance. You may even have an opportunity to learn some of the dance steps yourselves, or play the badron yourself, and make some Irish music of your very own. So I've talked about some of these. Let me hand it back to some of our friends in Ireland and let them share a little bit more as well.
You know, how the booking process, or which as you know, I'll make sure that it's like, this is the only trip I remember her saying.
I don't know about you, but I am absolutely ready to go back very, very soon. So Shamrocks and Leprechauns, 18 to 27 June 2023. You see the price point there. Let me share with you what you need to do next, because that is the most important part. So absolutely next, contact us, reach out. I forget if there's a typo on that side, but that's okay. The typo is not in the important part. The phone number, 888-370-2736. You can call us at any point in time. If it is after hours, leave a message. We'll give you a call back, or just reach out via email. scheduled at ttc.com, and we will make sure we get you all sorted and taken care of. I know we're coming up on time, so I just have a couple of small final things to wrap us up. First, a reminder just for the other trips, definitely take a look at all of these. Certainly you're all on here and watching because Ireland is your dream destination. But if you want to hit Canada, there's still time to do so, those Canadian Rockies, and certainly for Alaska next year. So definitely take a look at all of those. And to kind of wrap us up, I want you to be prepared in visiting Ireland so you can understand how to speak a few key words.
Scundered. And scundered just means highly embarrassed.
Aye, now we're sucking diesel. That means things are going along very nicely.
Boudgie is a favourite slang of mine from Belfast, and it just means hi, how you doing? And you'll hear it a lot here when you come to visit our fabulous city.
Do you think I come up the lagging on a... Do you think that...
You clompet ye.
Do you think I come up the lagging on a bubble? It means, do you think I'm stupid?
Clompet is a person in every group, the one that's messing about, having fun, and showing everybody how to enjoy themselves. That's your clompet.
It's embarrassing.
Well, now that we're sucking with diesel, we are ready to kind of wrap up. I'm going to leave this slide up for just a moment. Everybody can take down that number. All the information, and I know the team at Shepherd, Katie, and Jessica will have all of the links to the itinerary, to everything you need. It's also available on the Alumni website. You can get to all that information. You can look at the day-by-day itinerary. If you're interested, see a little bit more of the details and those amazing experiences you're going to have, and then you are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I think we're about to time. So I guess we'll just see if we have any quick last-minute questions. Otherwise, I think we're about good to wrap up. Jessica, Katie, I'll turn it over to you if there's any questions or anything you wanted me to touch on before we finish up.
Sure. We still have about 4 minutes left, so we have a few minutes for questions. I know we talked a little bit about this being a family tour, great for multi-generational.
Absolutely.
But is there a suggestion of sort of an age range for children? Because I know that's always a question we get if people want to bring their kids along. How young is too young?
Okay, so the insurance companies tell us the youngest we can have on a coach is 5. So unfortunately, those toddlers 1 through 4 or infant through 4, find another grandparent if you want to leave them behind. Beyond that, it really is just up to the parents. So we have that requirement. They have to be at least 5 to travel. Beyond that, I mean, I've traveled with 6 and 7-year-olds that are better than 30, 40-year-olds that I've traveled with, and everything in between. You know, it's really up to, it really is at that point in time, just up to the family. And, you know, I guess a good way to stress this is it is still a family vacation. It isn't, you know, it certainly isn't a child's drop-off program where you know, shoo your kids away for the day and the kids go off and do one thing and the adults go off and do one thing, and you know, maybe they cross paths as they're all turning in for the night or whatever the case may be. You know, this is a destination to be experienced together. So while there are experiences that will be available that might be geared a little bit more to the kids, everything is there for everybody to have the most fun with. I think a great example is one of the Game of Thrones experiences. So for all of you Game of Thrones fans, we'll go to one of the shooting locations for Winterfell. We have an opportunity to dress in costumes, take out a longbow, and try to hit the target yourselves. Now, most kids have no clue who Game of Thrones is. They've never watched it. They don't know what any of the characters are. The parents do. The parents get excited about, hey, this is neat. This is Winterfell. Oh, I recognize that costume. Oh, I recognize that sigil. Parents get really into it. Then everybody picks up a bow and arrow, and we all become 12-year-olds at summer camp firing off those arrows. So it's you know, it's there's something a little bit for everybody. But to your main question, age-wise, 5 and up. You know your kids better than we do. So if yeah, whatever age they are, they're welcome.
Perfect. So we have about a minute and a half left. I personally want to say I've been to Ireland before. I have that Irish heritage, did the DNA testing. I've always felt like this draw, this connection. And it's true what they said in that video. Once you go, you want to go back. And I was just thinking, I need to go on this tour. I have to make it happen. So I encourage everybody who's ever even thought about it. It's a lovely, beautiful place. You need to go. If you've never experienced it, you have to do it at least once in your life. They are being honest when they say it's like family. They welcome you in. You feel comfortable. It's like home. I highly suggest this. With a minute left, Jessica, anything you want to add or any questions?
Just one question that's probably a quick answer. So when it comes to the weather, what's the weather like at the end of June? I'm just intrigued because is it like similar?
It could very quite literally be all 4 seasons all at one go. It never gets ridiculously cold, and we know a place where it is frigid cold, but it could go from bright and sunny to windy, wet, chilly in a moment, and then change back 16 different times throughout the day. The best bet is just pack in layers. Have check. In June it's not going to get super cold. But the winds coming off the North Atlantic can be very, very frigid. So just have a light jacket, something comfortable, dress in layers, have your day pack, be able to take stuff off, pull out a raincoat if the rain starts falling, take it off when the sun comes out again. You're going to get everything all in one day.
I think that pretty much sums